When we hear the word affair, the first thing that comes to our mind is the woman has gone outside of the marriage to sleep with somebody. First thing that comes to our mind is infidelity. Somebody is cheating on the spouse. I almost fell into this trap. I'll quickly share this experience with you. When I was doing my master's, there was a course that I wanted to do. And this course, it was statistics. It was so difficult. So difficult. I couldn't find a way out of it. My husband couldn't help me. Even in school, everybody was trying to deal with it. And around that time, a former boyfriend had, spotted me on Facebook and had put something like, "Hey, how are you, Lola? I understand you're married, you're a woman of God. How is everything going?" And I responded, I'm like, "Oh, it's going on fine. So what are you doing?" He said, "Oh, I have my PhD in social work." So look at that commonality.
And then
I have a
PhD. Doing your master's in social work at the time.
I was doing my master. I have a PhD in social work. I'm University of Illinois, and I'm doing great. And I'm like, there's this course that I'm doing. It's so difficult. Like, oh my God, statistics. That's a cheap thing. And I asked my husband. I said, you know what, this guy, my husband said, yeah, I know him. I said, he did his PhD. Is it okay if I ask him to help me out? And my husband's like, no, that's okay. Just go ahead. Let him help you out. I trust you. And he started to help me. Believe me sincerely, he opened my eyes to make sure that this course is nothing. At the end of the day, I scored A on that course. But here is a problem. In between all those coaching me in the night, because he doesn't have time in the morning. It's busy. I'm busy. So it's in the night around 9, around 10. He will now say, I miss those days, blah, 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 blah. And those words too, they're sweet in my ears. Around that time, my husband was doing his PhD. He didn't have time for me. He was doing his PhD in mechanical engineering. He didn't have time for me. So those words were just coming and everything. And I wasn't correcting. I would just say, no, stop that. That's not why we are here. I'm married. But there was a part of me also that loves all those sweet words and everything. Anyway, I did the exam. I passed the exam, but the relationship didn't stop. He kept on calling once in a while and everything. Blah, 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 blah. One day he said, "Oh no, I just wish we could go back to that time." That was when I knew, Lola, you are going. My fear has gone beyond. I slept with somebody who's not my husband. I slept with somebody who's not my wife. There is another one that is predominant these days, and its effect is so severe that it can lead to divorce or even lead to, terrible marital crisis, and that is emotional affair. Anything that comes after your spouse, anything that makes your spouse look irrelevant, is an affair. You see, this thing that I have in my hand, phone, social media addiction, social media addiction, so addicted that your role as a wife has been compromised by it. My husband will always say, even if your marriage is made in heaven, it needs an earthly maintenance.
Hello, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, or wherever you're watching us from. This is the Candid Conversations with Debo, and you're on again to another exciting episode. Before we start, I just want to say a big thank you to everyone who has consistently supported the different episodes that we've put out in the past. And of course, I want to implore you to please continue to support us by liking the content that we put out, by sharing, and by also commenting. Today, I have a very, very interesting topic that I'll be discussing with my very awesome guest. She's returning here for the second time. Today, we are discussing actually, I've titled this The Modern Day Affairs in Marriage, and this can be sometimes described as the hidden priorities that pulls couple apart. As you all know, in this very dynamic world that we live in, it's so easy for couples to get carried away by having affairs, which might not necessarily be extramarital affairs, but with the very dynamic world that we live in, it's still called affairs. Now, Pastor Lola Adeosun, who is my guest today, will help us uncover what modern marriages feel like in this very dynamic world that we live in. Pastor Lola Adeosun is a social worker here in Canada. She has tons of experience dealing with different couples, and she brings that wealth of experience into our conversation today. You're welcome to Candid Conversations with Debo, Pastor Lola.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me, and thank you for the, great and awesome work that you're doing. I've been following majority of your talk show, and it's really impactful, it's helpful, it's relevant, and it's very, very revelatory. So thank you for this awesome job. God bless you.
Thank you so much, Pastor Lola. Again, you're welcome, and we are excited to have you on board. And we know we're going to learn a lot from you today, as always. So we will just get right into it. As we already know, the world is really a dynamic world these days. Modern marriages face distractions everywhere. There's work, there's social media, there's money. Even sometimes you have extended families that can be tagged as affairs in this marriage. From your experience, what would you describe as modern day marriage to start with?
Modern day marriage?
Modern day affairs, my bad. Modern day affairs in marriages is what I meant.
In marriage.
Yes,
thank you.
Yeah.
When we hear the word affair, the first thing that comes to our mind is the woman has gone outside of the marriage to sleep with somebody. When we hear the word affair, the first thing that comes to our mind is infidelity. Somebody is cheating on the spouse. The woman is cheating with another man, or the man is cheating with another woman, or the woman is cheating with another woman, or the man is cheating with another man. A lot of things have been going on these days. You understand? That is the first thing that comes to our mind. But, lately, affair has also been redefined. And even before it was redefined lately, the Bible was a step ahead of every one of us. Jesus Christ himself, the master, he made a statement in Matthew chapter 5, verse 27 to 28. He said, in Message translation, said, the next commandment pretty well too. Don't go to bed with another spouse. But don't think you've preserved your virtue simply by staying out of bed. Your heart can be corrupted by lust, even quicker than your body. Your heart can be corrupted by lust, even quicker than your body. Those ugly looks you think nobody notices, they also corrupt. This is the word of the master himself. And I'm deciding to lay that as a foundation so that all our viewers today will know that whatever we're talking about is relevant even to Christians, even to scripture. So lately, affair has gone beyond, I slept with somebody who's not my husband, I slept with somebody who's not my wife. There is another one that is predominant these days, and its effect is so severe that it can lead to divorce, or even lead to, terrible marital crisis. And that is emotional affair. Emotional affair. Emotional, forming a deep emotional connection with someone or with something.
With someone or with something.
With something, because sometimes we say no, nobody is involved, but with something. Forming a deep emotional connection with someone or something. So that's emotional. And when we talk about emotional connection, you can have emotional connection with your car. You can have emotional you can be so addicted to your car that your car has taken the place of your marriage. So anything, any act of faithfulness to your spouse, anything that puts your spouse in the background, anything that comes after your spouse, anything that makes your spouse look irrelevant, is an affair.
Hmm. So
It's an affair.
I think I'm getting it now from specifically just this last point now. So
Yeah.
anything that is more important than your spouse
Yes.
is an
Yes.
affair. Hmm.
Yes. 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 Anything that makes you not to prioritize your spouse.
Hmm.
Anything that has taken over your entire mindset and your body to the extent that you are failing in your marital responsibility of
Hmm.
being faithful, of being committed,
Hmm.
of being a solid rock behind your spouse. You've crossed that boundary already. It's
Hmm.
already an affair.
Yeah. Hmm. That's interesting. I'm leaning to ask you a follow-up question to this. Can we have like maybe a specific example based on your wealth of experience of, I mean, someone who has prioritized something else other than their spouse and that probably has caused a little bit of friction in the marriage?
Oh, this is very, very common. I mean, awesome, awesome question. This is very, very, you see, this thing that I have in my hand, phone,
Hmm.
social media addiction.
Hmm.
Social media addiction. So addicted that your role as a wife has been compromised by it.
Hmm.
You're no longer there. You are there, but you're not there.
Hmm.
24/7, you are glued to your screen.
Hmm.
24/7, even to the extent that you can no longer give your husband or your wife the needed time, the needed attention, the needed priority. That's it.
Hmm.
That's it. It's
Hmm.
an affair. So and there are so many people are so addicted to these things that they go to bed,
Hmm.
with it. They wake up first thing in the morning. That's what they take. There's no good morning. How are you doing? Even when the other partner is like, hey, good morning, the woman is busy on the Instagram and Facebook and it's like, good morning, good morning. You're not even looking up to see who you're talking to.
Hmm. Hmm. Thank you so much for clarifying that up, for shedding a little bit of light on that specific instance. It's so common these days for technology to really cause a little bit of impact in marriages. So as numerous other examples to your point, like a car,
Mm.
or even
Your
maybe
career.
prioritizing
Yeah.
career so much
Mm.
more that you don't want to take breaks, you don't want to go on vacation, you don't want to, create time for the family. That definitely is there as well. So thank you for sharing that. So I'll lead up to a second question now, which would be, can you share why it's important for couples to recognize their fears? Because I think the major problem is a lot of people do not even know that
Mm.
these actions that they are undergoing or they are taking is termed an affair. They just feel like, oh wow, I'm keeping up with the Joneses. I'm trying to be relevant. I'm trying to see what's happening in town. I have gist for this. Then they might not necessarily see it as an affair. How could couples recognize and can also prioritize or see that, oh, this is a misplaced priority, and create a balance that probably reduce this friction in the marriage?
So how can they recognize that this is an affair is going on?
Mm.
I'm going to mention three things very quickly
Mm.
to recognize. How do I recognize that there's an affair that is going on?
Sure.
If there is something or someone that your partner has been complaining about,
Mm.
your husband or your wife
Mm.
is complaining about,
Mm.
and you said, I am going to change,
Mm.
and there's always failed attempt to change, you see yourself going back into going back into that relationship. It could be for no, I'm so sorry, I didn't know it's affecting you. I'm going to work on it, and then you are back with it.
Mm.
That's an affair, and affair slash addiction, because
Mm.
you're already addicted to it.
Mm.
That's one that comes to my mind. Another one is broken promises. You keep on breaking your promises. When I come back from work today, I'm going to have enough time with you. But then before you know it, you are back to chatting with somebody else online and everything. All these things or entitlement. Don't I have a right to be on my phone? I am not do you want to isolate me?
Mm.
When you begin to see all these things, is a sign that there's a fire on the mountain. There's a problem that is going on there. So my husband will always say, even if your marriage is made in heaven, it needs an earthly maintenance. And most times, what couples don't understand is affair itself is not the problem.
So what is the problem?
The problem itself is because the affair is the tip of the iceberg. There are some resident issue underneath, which could be unmet needs, unmet expectation, misplaced priorities that is feeding the affair itself. For instance, I come back from work, I'm going through a lot at work, and I approach my husband and say, hey, darling, this thing is going on in my work. He's like, no, don't tell me about your work, don't bring work home. I don't want to be part of this. I try to get his attention. Couldn't get his attention. Do you know that if in my office I have a guy, anybody at all, who is readily available to listen to me, naturally I can create an emotional bond with that person. Because the person who is supposed to step into that role is not available. And that's why we say, even when we are dealing with affair, trying to help couples walk through their affair, the first thing we ask is, where are the cracks on the wall here? So unmet needs, unaddressed problem for a long time, misplaced priority, thinking, my job is more important. Don't you want me to be a medical doctor? Don't you want me to be an engineer? Why are you, it kept on going and going and going and going. A time will come when that man will shift to another thing. When that woman will shift to another thing. And before you know it, emotional bond is created. Addiction is created. Where at the end of the day, you no longer need a man, you no longer need a woman. This has taken over that vacuum, because life does not exist in a vacuum. Something we have to really go in there.
Thank you so much for clarifying. So essentially, most of the time, for this affairs to even start off, there must have been an unmet need or an unmet expectation.
Unaddressed problem.
Unaddressed problem.
Yes, for a long time.
Over a long period of time. And then, of course, to your point, there's no vacuum in life. So something we definitely have to replace the need that is still there.
Yeah. Another one is also, some carelessness. People thinking, I got this. I'm a woman of God. Nothing can happen. I've got it. You see, I almost fell into this trap. I'll quickly share this experience with you. When I was doing my master's, there was a course that I wanted to do. And this course, it was statistics. It was so difficult. So difficult. I couldn't find a way out of it. My husband couldn't help me. Even in school, everybody was trying to deal with it. And around that time, a former boyfriend had, spotted me on Facebook, and I put something like, hey, how are you, Lola? I understand you're married, you're a woman of God. How is everything going? And I responded, I'm like, oh, it's going on fine. So what are you doing? He said, oh, I have my PhD in social work. So look at that commonality.
And then
I have a PhD.
Doing your master's in social work at the time.
I was doing my master. I have a PhD in social work. I'm University of Illinois, and I'm doing great. And I'm like, there's this course that I'm doing. It's so difficult. Like, oh my God, statistics. That's a cheap thing. And I asked my husband. I said, you know what, this guy, my husband said, yeah, I know him. I said, he did his PhD. Is it okay if I ask him to help me out? And my husband's like, no, that's okay. Just go ahead. Let him help you out. I trust you. And he started to help me. Believe me sincerely, he opened my eyes to make sure that this course is nothing. At the end of the day, I scored A on that course. But here is the problem. In between all those coaching me in the night, because he doesn't have time in the morning. It's busy. I'm busy. So it's in the night around 9, around 10. He will now say, I miss those days, blah, 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 blah. And those words too, they're sweet in my ears. Around that time, my husband was doing his PhD. He didn't have time for me. He was doing his PhD in mechanical engineering. He didn't have time for me. So those words were just coming and everything. And I wasn't correcting. I would just say, no, stop that. That's not why we are here. I'm married. But there was a part of me also that loves all those
I
sweet words
enjoyed
and
the
everything.
words.
Anyway, I did the exam, I passed the exam, but the relationship didn't stop. He kept on calling once in a while and everything. Blah, 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 blah. One day he said, oh no, I just wish we could go back to that time. That was when I knew, Lola, you are going. Woman of God, you need deliverance now at this point. So, you understand? So I told my husband, I said, this is going on. This guy kept on saying sweet word. My husband said, cut it off then. I said, I don't want him to feel like I used him. Now I've passed. Now, my husband said, no, this is a gateway that the devil wants to come into your life. Or do you want to divorce me and go and marry? I said, no, I'm not doing that. Anyway, eventually I had to cut the relationship off and tell him, I'm so sorry. I'm not comfortable with this. It was later on I knew that he was actually divorced. So sometimes carelessness, sometimes something that looks like I just want to support her. She's a single mother. I just want to be there for this person can actually lead to something that can lead to an affair that we never thought we could be in. I mean, I'm talking about me, talking, firebrand, woman of God. But there was a very strong, a thin line. If I wasn't careful, if I wasn't open and honest with my husband, that would have been it.
And at that point, you had a need that, your husband was obviously very busy, so he couldn't meet that need. And even if he wasn't busy, if he wasn't skilled in statistics, he still might not have been able to help in that way. So I do understand your point when it comes to carelessness. I think the bottom line here is, in this type of situation, making strong boundaries.
Yes.
Enough. But to your point, everyone gets busy, and sometimes there might be still needs there that were not being met. And then, the sweet words started germinating, maybe not the right fruits.
Yes.
But thank you so much, Ma, for sharing your personal experiences. It's always nice to hear from people's personal experiences, and we're glad that relationship got cut off and that everything is still good in the home front. Now, just to connect it to the life that we live here in the Western world, especially as immigrants who work long hours to survive abroad. How can work itself become a kind of affair in marriage?
How can work itself become an emotional affair in the marriage? And you keep on hearing me saying this, when it's affecting your relationship. When it's affecting your relationship, it's different from being, we call this workaholism. And most people end up convincing themselves that they are doing this for the good of the family.
For the family.
Well, what you are doing for the good of the family, by the time you turn around, if you lose the family, of what use is it? Of God, what use is it? So if it has come to a point, it becomes an affair. If your wife or your husband is saying, please, this is not healthy, it's affecting us. But you said no. Who is going to pay the bills? What are we going to do? So if the value is upside down, you're no longer valuing your marriage, or you are valuing the idea of making money. Godliness with contentment is a great game.
It's a great game.
People who go into workaholism, they want to prove a point. They want to get some things. They want to acquire something. So that workaholism spirit, when you end up convincing yourself that it doesn't matter what your wife is saying or what your husband is saying, you are actually doing this for the good of the family, then you have crossed the boundary. Or it has come to a point where your work has gotten to a point where you are no longer meeting the emotional needs of each other. There is no time for each other. There is no time to connect together. One person comes from work, the other person is out of work. You no longer know what is going on in the life of your husband. You no longer know what is going on in the lives of your spouse. At the end of the day, it's like two strangers are living together. It's like you are just housemates, but you are not married. You are no longer married. That's when work has taken over. That is when work has become an affair. So if one person is the one who is victim of this, then you're definitely having an affair with your work. Or you're like, no, I need to upgrade myself. I need to go to school. You are just keep on doing this over and over again at the detriment of your marriage. Then that is an affair.
Yeah. So this is really dicey because at the end of the day, that work might be very instrumental into some of the regular bills that the family has, so they probably have mortgage, or maybe they have a huge rent, they have maybe car loans to pay. In some cases, maybe if they have older kids, maybe their children are already in university. So there might actually be a reason, a justifiable reason as to why that partner is paying so much attention to work, looking like, well, I need to do this for us to work. In those kind of instances, how can that partner, the other partner has complained that, hey, you're taking work too seriously, it's impacting us. How can they create a balance in that kind of instance?
You see, the first thing is to really talk about it. What is our priority here? What is important to this family here? Is it getting that brand new car? Or is it taking long shifts? Because there's a thin line between hard worker and work addicts.
Thin line between hard worker and
work addict. Hard worker, I mean, you need to work hard as a man to be able to care for your family. You need to work hard as a woman to be able to care for your family. But when I go into work addict, somebody is having a fear with his work. That means everything about the life of that person center around that work.
Around the work.
The impact is so huge that has affected everything around him, yet it cannot stop. That's an affair with your work. Frequency too. Every holiday, you are out of the door. You're taking the double shift. Even when it's not necessary, you are there. So what they need to do is to come together and talk about it. The woman or the man needs to say, look, this is not healthy at all. This is going out of order. And it could be me. There are times when people need to see a therapist also to be able to walk to be able to walk them through it, because what is driving that could also be because of fear of failure. I don't want to fail in life. I know where I'm coming from. My father was really, really poor. I cannot be poor, So it's not about the family anymore. It's about you not wanting to be a victim of the past. So when it gets to that, talk with your spouse about it. Both of you pray together about it. Cut your coat according to your sizes. Don't keep up with the Joneses. Try to live within your means and within your limit so that something is not driving you. Don't say because somebody has $1 million house, you want to get $1 million house. Somebody has a brand new car, want to get it. Life is in stages and is in phases. Make sure that what you get involved in is commensurate to your income and you're not driving yourself too hard. Because such things could actually make somebody to start, prioritizing their work instead of prioritizing their spouses.
Thank you so much. I like the fact that talking about the what is important for the family, having a center table to say, hey, what is important to this family? I think I really like that fact. And then, of course, cutting your coat according to your cloth, in the sense that you don't want to do more than what you can afford, so that you don't have to live that life that would definitely now affect the marriage negatively. So thank you so much for sharing that.
And let me say this very quickly. The danger of the workaholism is because it also can spiral into something else. You can actually perpetuate a fear in your spouse when you are not available to. I'll give an example. A woman who keeps working and working and working and working. We need to make money and we need to do this, we need to do that. And the husband is home. It's so easy for such a man to form an emotional attachment with somebody else. It's so easy for that man to wander into an affair in form of pornography. So you see the spiral effect of it.
Thank you so much for sharing that. Our time is running fast, so and I will still have a few questions to tackle. So, but I'll just need you to. I just want to take this one because I think it's also very important to talk about the influence of family loyalty. A lot of people hold their family in great esteem in some cultures, but how or when does prioritizing parents, siblings, or extended family become an affair that undermines the marriage?
It's more of putting things in priority.
Mm.
It's more of going by the role outlined by God. It's more of you saying, what is important to me here?
Mm.
So, who calls the shot in your home? If, as a married woman, the person who calls the shot in my home is my mother-in-law, my husband is having an affair with my mother-in-law.
Mm.
If the person who calls the shot in my home is my husband's senior sister, we agree on something as a couple, and just a phone call to his sister has disrupted everything completely. No, I need to know. Without him saying a word, I know I'm secondary. I know my opinion does not matter. If your bond with your mother, with your father, with your sister, is so strong and is stronger than your marital bond is stronger to the extent that your marital relationship is being compromised, you are in an affair. You may not call it an affair, but it's an affair. How do you know it's an affair? When there are secrecy. Don't let my wife hear. Don't let my husband hear. It's an affair. Because affairs thrives in secrecy. When there are lies. You don't have the confidence to be able to tell your wife or your husband what you have done with your sister, what you have done. Oh, no. If he hears, he's going to be disappointed. Don't let him hear. No. Yeah, something is going on. Something is going on. That is, family loyalty is good, but carry your wife along and make sure any decision that you make in your family is between both of you, not an external person. Thank you.
Not an external person. Thank you so much for shedding light on that. So we would just want to wrap it up soon. If you could leave couples with one key mindset shift rather about affairs in marriages, what would it be in about 2 minutes?
House don't just crumble. There were cracks. Cracks you ignore. Cracks you did not take notice of. Cracks that you explain away. Yeah. Mend the cracks quickly before they become an irredeemable problem that crush your home. Don't take each other for granted. Don't take each other for granted. If there's nowhere she's going, you'll be shocked. There's nowhere it's going, you'll be shocked. Be sensitive and don't minimize any complaint. Oh, he's overreacting. Your spouse can see an affair even before you see it. If they express any concern regarding anything, take responsibility. Don't be defensive about it. Thank you.
Thank you again, Pastor Lola, for your wealth of experience. And as a follow-up question to that, in about 2 minutes as well, how can couples see marriage as a partnership where both protect the relationship from external or internal distractions?
Yeah. Number one, see your spouse as a part of you that you don't have. Because most times people just despise the other person. See your spouse as a part of you that you don't have. And also keep open house. There shouldn't be anything that you are not willing to discuss. There shouldn't be anything that you're not willing to discuss. Even if it will get the other person angry, still discuss it. And also take responsibility for your mistake. In partnership, we make mistake. We learn as we go on.
Mm,
Take responsibility for your mistake immediately
mm,
instead of explaining it away, and see your spouse as somebody who is important in your life much more than any other thing apart from your salvation. Yeah.
apart from your salvation. So seeing your spouse as one of the most important things, or actually the most important thing apart from salvation, will help.
Important person in your life,
Important person.
important person in your life.
Person.
If two of you are the same,
Mm,
one of you is unnecessary.
mm,
That man is in your life for a reason.
for a reason.
That woman is in your life for a reason. So validate, celebrate, and leverage on each other's strength.
Hmm.
Thank you.
Wow, what a fantastic way to summarize this very interesting conversation. I really wish we had much more time to discuss this. But
Yes.
this is definitely I hope that it impacts the lives that will eventually watch this, because indeed there are a lot of affairs in marriages that is not infidelity enough. And I'm hoping that my guest today, Pastor Lola Adeosun, a certified social worker, has been able to shed a lot of light, but more importantly, to be able to see specifically that, okay, if my partner is complaining specifically about an issue over and over, then that potentially is an affair in the marriage. Thank you,
Mm.
Pastor Lola Adeosun,
Thank you
for
very
being a
much.
guest on the Candid Conversations with Debo. And until maybe you have any final parting words in about 20 seconds.
I just want to say that if you are here on this forum and for one reason you have been a victim of an affair, either you caused it or somebody did it to you, healing is available.
Mm,
God is a God of first chance, second chance. Reach out to a Christian therapist,
mm,
somebody that can walk both of you
mm,
out of the situation,
mm.
but your marriage can still be redeemed. It shouldn't be the end of the marriage. Thank you.
Should not be the end of the.
Especially if the other person is willing,
Mm,
is taking responsibility and is willing to work on it.
mm.
Thank you.
All right, Pastor Ola. As always, thank you for being a guest on the Candid Conversations with Debo. We'll try, as always, to put all of these episodes on all podcast platforms, but you definitely can find this video on YouTube. Please like, comment, and share so that we can continue to create more